Hey guys, good afternoon. Sorry I had to reschedule. I'm kind of in nowhere, South Carolina. It is absolutely beautiful here, but I'm having a hard time finding a signal. But I'm so glad you guys are here. Let's see who came in. By the way, thanks for being here yesterday for Harmony. We have further discussion coming up on that. We have just me, Erica, Preschool Granny. Hi, Chris. Hi, Bailey. Hi, Mary. Hi, Magoo. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Diane. Hi, Joe. Hi, Sharon. Uli, how are you? How was your vacation? Hi, Aggie. Katrina. Hello, Angie. Hope everyone's doing good. Muffin Top, what's up, my friend? Misty Doo. Hi. Lisa said no sorries allowed. None. Oh, well. At least it's a really pretty day. So, again, thanks for being here yesterday for the show about Harmony. That was great. I actually saw a news article this morning where a bunch of people sent birthday cards to the jail for her to teardrop. And I thought that was great. I thought that was really great. Over the weekend, 12 years since Kyron Horman's disappearance. This is a case that I have been following for years and years. I have not done a show on it. It's only been discussed in Facebook groups, so on and so forth. And here we are, like I said, at 12 years. Let's see. There is Kyron. That's the famous science fair picture that has haunted everyone for years. And then over the weekend, I came across this age progression. And I thought, you're kidding me. It's really been that long. It's really been that long. You just got to be kidding me. Lisa, no one talks about Kyron much. No, they really don't. And that's what I want to know too, Sarah. 12 years. What happened in 12 years? For 12 years, we've heard it's his stepmother. Stepmother. Well, something's got to be going on. Because the stepmother, is she smarter than the police? Did she have an accomplice? Or did she really not have anything to do with this? You know, and again, on this channel, there's some people that this is their decision, they're sticking with it. But we're just going to discuss it today. So I had a girl backstage and I lost her. Hopefully it's not my signal. She might have gotten a phone call or something. Let me see. Hello, real Amanda. There she is. Here's our friend Lexi. You guys are going to love her. She's been following the case like mad. And we are just going to start digging into this and talk. We're not going to get too deep today. We're just going to kind of cover the basics from 12 years ago. And first, let's do a poll, okay? Who do you think is responsible for the disappearance of Kyron? Terry? Do you think was Terry and an accomplice? Or do you think we should be looking at something else because it's been so long? Let's do a poll, and we're going to further discuss this. Good afternoon, Lexi. Lexi is muted.
Oh. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, everybody say hi to Lexi. Okay, Fun to Ski said stepmom. I have been saying stepmom for years and years and years. This is one of the only cases, honestly, and you guys know how I am, that right now, I just, do you have your YouTube open?
Who? Me?
Yeah, there's an echo.
Oh, no, I don't have it open. Is it echoing?
Yeah, I don't have it
open. No, I just clicked on a link you sent me to come in.
I don't know why it would be because I don't have anything open. I have nothing open.
I hope it's not my just phone. It's the StreamYard thing I'm on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it open. Anything else open. That's weird.
Well, let me put you out and put you back.
Okay.
See if that'll fix it. Okay, is there an echo now? No, it must be something. I'll probably bring her back and then just mute in between conversation. Just mute in between conversation. Lisa said, recap the case for people who don't know the story. I will bring Lexi up for that. Well, it's not on my end because I'm the only one up here right now. Yeah, Lexi's got something open. See, if I mute Lexi, there's no echo. So there's something open on her end. I don't know what it is. As long as she can hear me, that's fine. So then when it's time to talk, I'll just mute myself. Okay, so June 4th, 2010, Terry Horman, stepmother of Kyron. His parents are Kyron Horman. That's his father. He's his dad. He's an engineer in Portland. His mother is Desiree Young. His parents got divorced when his mom was 8 months pregnant with him. I didn't even know that people could get divorced when someone's pregnant. I thought you had to wait till you had the baby. I don't know. But that's what happened. So a few years later, Kane marries Terry. So she's his stepmom, and the mom. She's doing everything at school. She's taking care of the house. She's running the errands, all that stuff. All right. So they didn't have the perfect marriage. There's a lot of stuff going on between Kane and Terry. A lot of people say that was the precursor to Kyron's disappearance. I don't know. I don't know. I can't figure this out. It's been 12 years later, and there has been grand juries that have looked at the evidence, and they have come back every time. I've got a direct quote. Hold on. Grand jury, hang on. Where'd it go? Needs more compelling evidence. So there's some evidence there, just not enough for them to be willing to indict. Okay. So the morning of, she takes Kyron to the science fair. She drops him off his project. That's where we see the famous science fair picture I just put up. And she leaves. Now, some witnesses say that she left with Kyron. She has always said she didn't. So let me read the timeline. Now, this goes back. This was from the newspaper in Portland back in 2010. All right. Terry's statements to the police indicate that after leaving the school at 8:45 a.m., she ran errands at two different Fred Meyer grocery stores until about 10:10 a.m. Between then and 11:39, she stated that she was driving her daughter around town in an attempt to use the motion of the vehicle to soothe the toddler's earache. So she had her little girl with her the whole time. Her and Kane have a child together, a little girl, who I think was two at the time. Terry said that she then went to a local gym and exercised until about 12:40 p.m. By 1:21 p.m., she had arrived home, and that's when she posted the pictures from the science fair to Facebook. At 3:30, Terry and her husband Kane walked with their daughter Kiara to the bus stop to meet Kyron. The bus driver told them that the boy had not boarded the bus and to call the school to ask his whereabouts. Terry did so, only be informed at by the school secretary that as far as anyone knew, Kyron had not been at school since early that day, and that he had accordingly been marked absent. Realizing then that the boy was missing, the secretary called 911. I don't know about you guys and the school that your children went to, the school you went to. All three of my children were in school in 2010. They would never assume a child was absent. A parent would get a phone call. That has always thrown me for a loop. Did she check him out of school? Did she sign him out? That's what I want. Did she sign him out? They just assumed. So let me unmute Lexi because I want to talk about this. Hello, Lexi. Lexi, you can unmute yourself.
Hey, is it still going crazy?
Maybe. I'll just mute you when I have to talk.
All right. So what was the question?
We're talking about the timeline.
About the what?
The timeline.
Hello?
And the school not keeping proper attendance.
Yeah. All right. So the timeline, I mean, we have all the timelines, and the Friday was the day of the science fair. Um, she Kane was home that morning. He told Kyron he was going to take him for ice cream after school, just because he did so good on his project. Kane kissed him goodbye. Terry left at 8 o'clock. Got to the school at 8:15. She took Kane's truck that day because she had recycling. A lot of people ask about why she took the truck. There's a recycling place, a dumpster at the school. She went in to the school at 8:15. She says hello to the head of the PTA, which is Gina Zimmerman. They went to Kyron's classroom. They dropped off his book bag. They dropped off his coat. They looked at his project. They also went and they looked at other projects. The picture was taken at 8:45. There was no, from what you're saying about the the marked absence and all of that stuff. There was a doctor's appointment that was spoke of, that she talked to the teacher about, an appointment the following week, because Kyron was having problems with the way he was acting. He would just stare off, and there was like mini seizures. So she was just letting the teacher know she was worried. But she did not that day tell her that there was no kind of appointment. That was totally false. There was no email. So the school, in my opinion, I mean, there was Miss Matthews, who when the teacher saw that he wasn't there, somebody said, "Oh, he went to the bathroom." And she just marked that as, "Oh, okay, he'll be back." So somewhere between there, nobody realized, like, "Oh, he didn't come back. Let me mark him absent," which is totally BS to me. Miss Matthews ended up saying that, some guy went up to him and asked, "Hey, can this child come help me with something in the truck?"
Now, hang on. Is this the white truck that's been spoke of a couple of other times? I've just seen it mentioned in a couple of articles. Is this the white truck? I don't want to say something wrong.
No, it wasn't a white truck. I'm not sure what color truck it was. But there was a man that Miss Matthews says, and she nodded to Kyron. She said, "Yes, go ahead." And that's where a whole nother story comes in. We'll go through a whole different day. We're just getting to the basics, but that's where I feel the school should be liable, because Miss Matthews lets Kyron go, help this man do something in his truck. He needed help carrying something out of it. And then, another thing, the school, all the records were erased that day. There was no phone call saying, "Hey, Kyron's not here. He's absent." There was no phone call, because the protocol, every school, my children, a voicemail gets sent to me, even if they miss a class. "Hey, your child missed a class." That should have been done, but it wasn't. Everybody.
Okay, I agree. I've always thought that was really weird that they just said, "Well, we haven't seen him since this morning." It was an article early on, I want to say July of 2010. It was in the Portland newspaper. You can Google it. I'll put it up later if I have better signal. We'll go through it again. That they hadn't seen him since that morning and marked him absent. I want to know more about who saw her leave with him. I don't want their names. And Just Me has a question, and everybody's been asking this for years. Are there security cameras around the school?
Oh no, there's no security cameras around the school, and they the witnesses that were supposedly saying that they saw Terry leave with Kyron, they're unknown. These witnesses are not there, but they do have a witness saying that they saw Kyron at the school um, after Terry had left. Um, and he was one of Kyron's best friends at the time, which they totally took him out of the media. It's these witnesses that a bus driver, he came out 2 months later. He said, you know, I parked where I could see the side road, and I never saw a white truck. I never saw a white truck parked where everybody was staying, which was on the, if I'm not mistaken, what road? It was on the gravel. I'm not sure what road, but he was like, I never saw it parked right there. And that Terry. So these witnesses that are saying that he saw, Terry leave with Kyron, nobody's heard from these witnesses. I mean, nobody can really say those are facts because they haven't spoken out.
No, they haven't spoken out. Nobody's heard from them. Now, Terry mentioned a white truck. Now, I believe it was July 9th of 2010. Again, it's been 12 years. The family put a statement out. They hadn't talked to anyone. They were under the assumption, I'm going to assume this is from law enforcement. Where, okay, here's the statement. Kyron's family would like to thank people for support and interest in finding their son. The outpouring of support and continued effort strengthens their hope. We need for folks to continue to assist us in our goal. Please search your properties, cars, outbuildings, sheds, etc. Also, check with neighbors and friends who may be on vacation or may need assistance in searching. This sounds like another case. There are a lot of resources here to help you search, so please don't stop. It is obviously a difficult time, and they want to speak to the public so you can hear it from Kyron's family as they come together to share their message. Their objective is to keep the focus on Kyron and not about anything else. That quickly changed. Okay? It is a criminal case now. Yeah, we know that, but there is no suspect. There's no suspect. The grand jury has turned away everything they've brought. Didn't turn everything away. The direct quote was, needs more compelling evidence. And now, 12 years later, stuck. They're stuck. I know that Kyron's mother is extremely frustrated. A few months ago, she put out in the paper, she said, they don't need a body. She's right, they don't. She was kind of challenging the DA to, go forward with something. But if the grand jury says they don't have compelling evidence, then you can't put it in front of a criminal jury and expect them to put Terry or whoever in jail for the rest of their lives when you can't even get past the grand jury. What do you make of that?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, my service keeps going out. I have no idea what's going on. But you said, what do I feel about taking it? I mean, the grand jury, and she's never been a person of interest or a suspect.
Oh, well, really anybody.
Yeah, I don't know. They focus on Terry from the beginning. Kyron obviously was failed from the very beginning. He was failed by the school, by law enforcement, by family. They started attacking Terry from the very beginning, which did more harm than good. If they really wanted, her to speak, if for whoever thinks she is guilty. All the harassment shouldn't have been started, all the threats. She was a crazy mess afterwards. um Desiree, she tried to file the lawsuit. um that didn't even go through, and that's another
Can
thing.
I talk about the lawsuit real quick?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm going to read this real quick because June 1st, 2012, Kyron's mom, Desiree, filed a civil lawsuit against Terry. Okay, it was for $10 million in damages. It attempted to prove that Terry had kidnapped Kyron. Hang on, August 15th, 2012, a federal court denied a motion by Terry to delay the lawsuit. Okay, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but Desiree has dropped the lawsuit because she said she doesn't want to interfere with the ongoing police investigation. I really hope she picks it back up. I really do. I don't think she's going to get 10 million, but when a civil lawsuit comes out like this, there's a lot of fact finding that goes on. So it's going to pave the way one way or another. We remember the Pam Hupp case where the girls filed the suit against Pam Hupp about the life insurance. It wound up overturning a conviction for Russ Faria. She really needs to pick this back up because whether it points all arrows at Terry or it clears Terry, it gets us further. All right, sorry.
Okay, so did you know that she dismissed it 3 different times?
No.
Yeah, she dismissed it 3 different times, and from what I know, and she doesn't want her past to be brought up. If if she does that, she will have to bring up all her issues and all the bad stuff that she went through in the past, the whole Canada thing. She didn't go to Canada for medical reasons. She doesn't want that to be brought up. But 3 different times she dropped it.
Well, she needs to pick it up. Nobody cares about her past. Canada, why Kane was raising Kyron, because this becomes a fact-finding venture that can help her son. So, I mean, if she said it's going to interfere with an ongoing investigation, usually these civil lawsuits bring out way more, and it helps the criminal lawsuit, the criminal part of it, pushing it forward.
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely agree that she should, because I feel like Terry, all of her bull crap is out there, and she owns up to everything she's done. But if everyone's going to, say Terry is this bad person, she makes bad decisions, then it should be the same as the rest of the family. To me, all this stuff does not bring home Kyron, and that's what everybody's making it about. It's about this person did this person did this, Terry, or Desiree, and it's like, just, that's not what we need. Everybody needs to come together and figure out what really happened, because it's 12 years and nobody knows what happened. Going after Terry, it's the only thing people do, and just throw out your past. How do we know when she went to Canada, something didn't happen down there, or a person, there's stalkers, there's people that do awful things on all sides. We need to know and get down to the bottom of every single person in every single family, not just Terry's. Desiree.
Well, I think the thing with Terry, and she's going to be the focus, is that she was the last person to be with Kyron, unless he was left at school. So that's a big difference. What Desiree had going on 4 or 5 years before Kyron disappeared has nothing to do with it. She wasn't anywhere around to kidnap him. So the focus is on Kyron. That's why I'm hoping that she picks the lawsuit back up. If anything, like I said, she's not going to get a dime, of more of a fact-finding venture. You know what I'm saying? So it either clears Terry altogether or finds more stuff. Because, like I said, stuff was getting a lot. After they got past the wandering off, we had the murder for hire. The police go to a man comes out. We got to really talk about this. I'm not going to say his name because he's been brought up a lot. He calls the police. He says that in December, they say a few months before, I've heard December 2009, he was approached by Terry because he was their landscaper, and she said for a lot of money she wanted him to kill her husband Kane. He said nothing about it at that time. He told them after Kyron went missing. When I first heard about the murder for hire, I was like, oh, that's it, she's going to jail. Mind you, there is no statute of limitations on murder for hire. At any time, they can fully investigate this and at least get her on that. But when they wired him up and sent him to talk to her, either, like I said, she's smarter than the police, or this never happened. And the more I thought about it, especially when I found out that the man doesn't really speak good English or understand English, I thought, what is going on here? Then on top of that, I thought, why did he not say something in December? That's a horrific thing to do. Because Kyron wouldn't be missing. Kyron wouldn't be missing. You know what I'm saying?
I do. She hired him in 2008, and it took him 5 months after all this, Kyron disappeared. It took him 5 months to come out and say all this. Also, he doesn't know English, and I've proven that. I speak Spanish, and I've spoke to him, but that's a whole different story. And after hearing arguments from both sides, Judge Henry, what's his name, Cantor, he ruled limited weight to testimony from, I'm just gonna say, landscaper. We don't want his name out there. So he can't be cross-examined or impeached. So if he lied in court, he could be impeached. There's a lot into it, and I think it was all a lie. I think that there was definitely something he was paid to do. When he went to Terry's house, she automatically called the police. This man said that he took her to a restaurant, and he didn't even know the exact words she tried to make out. He said that when he was asked if he remembered Terry Horman using words to get rid of Kane, he said no, not specifically. So what do you mean not specifically? So it words to really get rid of him, or is it just more bullshit added on to all the other stuff? There's a lot of inconsistencies in this story, and it's a lot of stuff that goes on.
Like just me is saying, well, which is it? That's what I was saying too, because I was watching this every night on Nancy Grace. Yeah, that's how far back this goes. And I was blown away. I'm like, oh, well, she'll be going to jail soon. And then nothing happened. Then they talk about he was wearing a wire. And I kept thinking, well, maybe somebody gave her a heads up. What is going on here? They can do better research than her just saying, yo, boy, I never talked to you. All right, so the police go to Kane, Kyron's father. He gets a restraining order, files for divorce, ultimately gets full custody of their daughter together. All right. Somewhere in all of this going on, she took 2 polygraphs and she failed both of them. Now, you guys know on here, I don't put a lot of stock into polygraphs. We have cases where guilty people have passed. We have cases where innocent people have failed and they're not admissible in court. The whole thing is crazy. And I still say the whole murder for hire thing, looking back 12 years ago, just seems a little made up. I'm not defending Terry because I do think she's a shady person. I really do. Because we haven't even got into, with everything going on, she started sexting with not just two, back and forth, one of Kane's friends.
Oh yeah, the sexing thing came out on Dr. Phil, and I think that that's going to be a whole separate thing. You know how Dr. Phil is, and a lot of people say that when they go on his show, it's really he doesn't treat people fairly. I don't really like Dr. Phil, and a lot of stuff they cut out. Um, you know, a lot of people don't know that when she was doing the lie detector test, um, she was doing the lie detector test. The LE was so aggressive towards her, and other than her hearing, being being in that situation, doing a lie detector test, that can affect results. She's the one that chose to do it 3 different times. She didn't have to. It's not required. It's not. They can't make her. They can't use it in court. Uh, this lady went to 3 lie detector tests, and she walked out on the third one because she couldn't handle it. And on Dr. Phil, he kind of he did make her out to look like this bad person. But what people don't make mistakes in life. And if it wasn't Kyron, it would have been somebody else. And it was Kyron that had a really messed up childhood from all these different people that were involved in his family. I mean, it's
Or it could have just been Terry, or Terry and an accomplice, or an abductor. There's a lot of these people that come on to Dr. Phil that he's super aggressive with, and there's some people that he treats with kid gloves, like Candace Wells. I don't understand that. Hang on. Care RN. I'm not defending Terry. What I said was, I think there's something going on, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if she has outsmarted the police, she had someone to help her, or she didn't do it at all. Like I said, I'm at the point where after 12 years, there is something huge missing in this case, because all of these different agencies cannot figure out where this little boy is, who's now a man, and the events of the day. It's been 12 years. It's been 12 years. And I don't defend the adults in these cases. I just don't. I'm never going to sit here and just say, well, they did this, they did this. A child's missing. He's been missing for 12 years. And I agree with Lexi. I wasn't cool with the way Dr. Phil did that interview either. All right, sorry, Lexi.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean, people don't like me. Yeah, I do defend Terry because I know a lot more about this case than a lot of people do, and that's why I fight so hard. I have a big group, and her brother, Terry's son is in our group. I've heard his side. I've heard, everybody just goes from what Desiree says, and you can't go just by what people say. It's hearsay. I have all the facts. I have everything that's been proven. So yeah, a lot of people hate me because I defend Terry, and I.
Oh, nobody hates you. I mean, in this group, we agree to disagree. At the end of the show, we're still friends, and at the end of the day, we're still friends. But this is really interesting. And this Seashore girl, I didn't even think about this. Where were the classmates? They're all old enough now. They can come forward and say, I remember that day. Yeah, I saw him walk out of the gym with Terry. Or no, I saw Terry leave alone. Or he was in class with us. Or no, he did leave. That's really interesting, Seashore girl. By the way, we have a lot of new people in here. Hit the sub button and give it a like real quick.
Okay. So for the classmates, Tanner, his best friend, I've reached out to him. Um, he had a full video. He saw Kyron way after Terry left. He walked past him in the hallway. He told Kyron, or Kyron told him, "I'm gonna go look at this cool battery, electric project," and that was in the gym. So that's a witness, and he's old enough now, and I've reached out to him. Like I said, we have a lot of stuff going on that I can explain later on, and maybe if people join our group, they can understand a little more and maybe open your eyes, because 12 years, like you said, nothing's happened. It's time to look at other avenues, other theories. Um,
Okay, now hold on. I have a question. All right, I have never heard this before. I've never heard this before. She took him a day late to the science fair. Classmates weren't in the fair area. But the science fair was supposed to be on June 4th. You're telling me the science fair was supposed to be on June 3rd? Have you ever heard that she took him the wrong day for the science fair?
no, 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 no. She went Thursday, the day before the science fair. She dropped off the science fair. She went back the next day with Kyron and Kitty. She even brought the only reason she brought the truck, it wasn't for the science fair, because I mean the science project, because she already brought it Thursday. She brought the truck because she had recycling that she was dropping off. And there are recycling cans at the school. So no, she didn't go a day, she went a day earlier just to drop off the project. Um,
Okay, so that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, I was wondering about that. And again, guys, we're not doing any team Desiree, team Terry. We just want the right person in jail and held accountable for this. The most unlikable person going to jail is not how it works, because you can see issues between a lot of people. And I will say Terry has, hang on, Karen. Yeah, and that's what we were just talking about. She dropped the project off the day before, because the picture from the science fair is from the 4th. It's from Friday. But if you have something different, send it to me, please.
yeah, there's nothing different. She dropped the project off Thursday, and Friday she went to the science fair. You know, I have a whole timeline here as well. I don't know, people hear the wrong information all the time, and I just know facts. I can't uh I just can say that James, he works with our group and he's very involved in it. Um,
I did see a post from him. Now, James is Terry's son. So this would be Kyron's step brother. That very recently he spoke with the police again. Is there anything that you can tell us about that? I mean, it's in your group.
that what he spoke on.
Yeah, I saw there was kind of a Q&A going on.
Oh yeah, I did a Q&A with him. So that brings up the book that I am not happy about. I don't like it. I've told Rebecca myself. She's in my group. Um, it's all DY's side, her story. She's written in there horrible things about James. He was only 16 at the time, and he spent more time with Kyron than Desiree did. Desiree said that James lost Kyron in the woods, stole his glasses, so Kyron would have to walk home at night by himself. She said a lot. She said a lot of wrong stuff. So James, he he wanted to answer it and tell the truth to his side. His side, his mom, she was very I guess strict with him. he, I mean, like any teenager, he went through a stage. So it was hard for her to handle it at times. He ended up moving in with his grandparents, and that was Terry's choice. But they still had a relationship, and she still took care of Kyron. James always said that she treated Kyron like he was everything, you know. Um, she did every single sports with him, went to all his sports. She taught him sign language. She was the only person that noticed he needed glasses. So she was very strict with James, but she was not Kyron. Um, you know, Kyron called her mom. I have lots of pictures and there's some videos, and he loved that woman, you know, not like a scared kid. You can tell he wasn't scared around her. So, and my thing is, you know, in this book, Desiree she had a year prior, um, she was scared something was wrong with Kyron, and it might have been towards some abuse. But that's another false thing because, you know, what would you do if your son was being abused by a stepmom? Would you just not fight more harder in court? Would you call CPS, or would you just let it go?
No. If for some reason one of my children were living with a stepmother, that was spoke about a lot in the Gannon Staunch case. That there was always suspicions that Letitia was doing something. Oh hell no, no. It wouldn't happen. No.
Yeah, that's how I feel. There's so much stuff, and it's like, you know, people tend to believe Desiree. I'm not trying to break her. I'm not trying to break her down, make her look like this, you know, but there's so much to answer to, and you could help find your son by just kind of opening up, you know, looking other places. Harassing somebody is not going to do anything. It hasn't. Somebody said any other students seen Kyron after Tanner. There was a group of kids. We're not sure their name. They were in the gym looking at that project that he was on his way to see. So there was those kids. A lot of kids were told by the police that they can't speak out. That's why Tanner stopped speaking out. Um, but like it's just a bunch of witnesses that can't speak, or we don't know their names. It's a horrible case, and I feel like the school failed him more than anybody did, honestly. Um, there's let me see. Um, I don't know if you want me to do this.
Well, now I have a question real quick. So, law enforcement has told grown adults that were there on June 4th that they can't speak out about whether they saw Kyron at school or not. Because I've got a huge problem with that. That is so unethical and illegal. That is, that's ridiculous. Where was this reported?
No, kid. Wait, I said kids. And are you talking about Tanner? How he cannot speak out?
Yeah, or the kids. I mean, they're all adults.
Yeah, they're all adults now. I don't know. This goes on to more stuff. These people have been harassed by a group that I will not name. It's well known. This person.
Well, too bad. I mean, these Facebook wars and Twitter wars and stuff like that, that's not going to do anything to bring Kyron back. If there are kids that were at the school that day, they don't need to worry about the internet. They need to be talking to detectives. And if the detectives won't help them, they need to talk to the FBI. If the FBI ignores them, they need to go to the actual mainstream media who would love to talk to them, and then get it going.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. But some of the stuff that is being said to them is just, people get scared so easily. They don't know. Um, they don't know what's going to happen to them. I mean, who knows how dangerous these people are? Um, there's just so much to the story, and it's so hard.
Well, then they're total cowards. I mean, I'm sorry. If they have information about the whereabouts of Kyron Horman on June 4th, 2010, but they're scared of internet trolls, then that should be a crime in itself. And if I was Kyron's mother and father, I'd shake the shit out of them. I'd be at their house right now going, is there something that you know that you're not telling anybody? I certainly would. I certainly would.
Oh yeah, I think us as parents, and I would make my kids go out there, and I would help them, reach out to the media. I would make them speak up. I'm not really sure if why exactly. I just know that they have been harassed. Um, it's a sad situation, and there's just people that put themselves in there and don't even know what they're talking about, and then it's like they just kind of mess with the case about that. I have
Well, real quick, let me put this out here, and if anybody can put the number in chat, because I'm going to put it on the community tab and everywhere I can. If these now adults feel bullied by Facebook groups, Twitter, or whatever, they think these people are dangerous. Ladybug69 YouTube chat or whatever. They can call John Walsh. I have his number handy here somewhere. It's anonymous. Crime Stoppers is anonymous. It is anonymous. And then they don't have to worry about people on the internet that they shouldn't be communicating with anyway. That makes me so mad.
Yep, and MCSO needs to, they need to re-interview kids. They need to re-interview everybody. Um we had a list, and there's two people on there that one refused, two parents, and one refused to speak to the police, and they just let it go. They were both there. They were on the list that day. One of them has a sketchy record, and they just let it go. And we have his name. We're trying to do something with it. There's just more people that could have been suspects. There was a homeless guy that tried to kidnap a kid, like 5 minutes away from the school. He didn't get away with it, but there's so much. Oregon is like one of the most, you know, trafficking places ever. There's so many kids that disappear from there. And
And I have a question. The guy that was at the school that day, he signed in at the office. So he was there as a visitor, him and his wife. How do you refuse to talk to the police? Now I get that they can't unless they have a reason, you know, like just not cooperating. I don't get it. I mean, did he get an attorney? Did they have a reason to suspect him? That's what I'm confused about.
we are looking into it. At this time where there's a new investigator on the case. His name is Detective Tabor, and everything that we find is being sent to him. So that's going to be investigated, because it's really weird that supposedly in the very beginning they said everybody's been interviewed in the school, but obviously they haven't. Uh, there's a couple of people that haven't. Um, the gardener, groundskeeper of the school. I mean, he disappeared and he went to Mexico after Kyron disappeared. How weird is that? Um, there's just other.
Well, and that's happened in many cases, and that's when they get the U.S. Marshals involved. Trust me, they can find all that. So speaking of gardeners, what about Terry's friend Dee Dee? I've always been curious as to, now they said she was extremely cooperative. Supposedly she's been cleared. I want to know why she left her job abruptly on the 4th and went and bought a burner phone. A burner phone for Terry. I've always thought that was really weird. Terry wouldn't need a burner phone because at the time she left, by then, Kyron would have already been missing, technically.
Yeah, Dee Dee, they were actually both, Dee Dee was gone, but at a different time. Dee Dee was gone at a time where Terry was seen on camera. Dee Dee offered, they weren't best of friends. Dee Dee offered her, she's lonely. Kiera Kane leaves. She just needs a friend. She offered to stay with her. Not only was Terry known for burner phones, way before this happened, she always had burner phones. Um, so to me, I don't find it odd. I mean, imagine people trying to set you up for hiring someone to kill your husband. You don't know what these people are capable of.
But see, this was on June 4th, the day that Kyron went missing. And I think there was some infidelity going on, in the marriage. That's a good possibility. I'm just wondering why she needed one that day. That's what I was confused about. I don't really think it ties into Kyron just because of the time of day. And it's odd to me because you've got to be a really, really, really loyal and good friend to leave your work to go buy a burner phone for someone who you're not really good friends with. You know what I mean? It's a lot of inconsistencies in this story.
Oh yeah, there is. I haven't heard she didn't buy a burner phone that day that I heard of. I heard about the burner phones later on when she moved in because they were scared everything was bugged. I mean, even if you're an innocent person who wants people, I don't want people listening in on me. I would find that kind of creepy. I mean, so to me, the burner phones were really just.
Oh, so you're saying that the burner phone she bought for her after Kyron went missing, it wasn't that day?
No, it wasn't that day. There was burner phones bought that they said, but it was what, like a week later, because she was being bugged. Just like the landscaper guy comes, she calls the police. She's going. You have to imagine a lady going through so much stuff, being so paranoid, being threatened. Her whole life is being taken from her. She's basically in prison, like herself. Some people say, yeah, she deserves it, but if she's innocent, she did not deserve it. I would be paranoid. I wouldn't want people listening, even if I was innocent. So I really don't think that is a big deal. Where Dee Dee was working at that day, it was a really big area. Um, how do they know that she was just out taking a walk? I mean, Dee Dee passed a lie detector test.
Yeah, I'm reading here, that she was fully cooperative and everything like that. And let me read this real quick. This is from, again, this is from the Portland News. Okay, Dee Dee Spiker, I think I'm saying that right. A woman Desiree and Kane described as being a close confidant to Terry, who offered her advice and support that wasn't in Kyron's best interests. Law enforcement categorized Spiker as highly cooperative, even allowing a search of her property and enduring questioning that lasted 3 hours. See, that's what you do. That's what you do. You tell them everything they need to know, unless you can't, unless you're guilty. On the morning of Kyron's disappearance, Spiker, hopefully I'm saying her name right, was at work gardening for a homeowner at their home in Northwest Portland. So is this gardening for a homeowner at their home, the homeowner, okay, not her own, sorry, in Northwest Portland. Around 11:30 a.m., she abruptly abandoned her job, returning a full hour and a half later. She reportedly assisted Terry in purchasing an untraceable cell phone that day. Desiree and Kane were subpoenaed to testify in the grand jury hearing in August. That was of 2010. Skyline Elementary's principal was also brought in to testify. At the end of November, the search for Kyron had racked up a cost of an estimated $1.4 million. Big deal. So sick of these adults whining and crying about the $1.4 million. And oh my God, no, I see, extensive search, $1.4 million. And, the toll it's taken on me. I think it took a big old toll on Kyron. Don't you think? He should be in college right now. Hang on. I just lost my place. County commissioners reported almost 5,000 tips offered for the case, but by December, the grand jury was still unable to provide an indictment. So this stuff was going down fast in 2010. Here we are, 2022. What part of this puzzle could be missing? Because it's huge.
There's a lot more I want to go into, but also, the truth is missing. The truth of who took him. Dee, she's not even a suspect. She's not a person of interest. She passed. She did all this stuff, and people are still harassing these people. What I want people to understand is you cannot believe everything that you see in the media. The media lies. You can't believe everything that's showed on Dr. Phil. You have to really dig deep and talk to people that were actually involved. And, you have to really avoid media. It's all bullshit.
Well, I believe the media when it comes from law enforcement, when they're like, reports from law enforcement and stuff like that. Obviously. And remember, everything I'm reading are early reports from 2010. And the media is a lot different now in 2022 because people are so skeptical and so critical, and they're so, no, I'm not buying that. Because like the whole murder for hire now in 2022, maybe at first people would have been like me, oh my God, that's really going on. And then they would have thought about it and been like, nah, that doesn't make any sense. Something in this case doesn't make any sense at all. She cannot be this criminal mastermind. Someone helped her, or she truly didn't do it, but that certainly doesn't make her a damn saint.
All right, can I bring up two things? So Ellie hasn't said anything because there's no evidence. They don't have anything. No matter how much Desiree, no matter how much anybody else says, Ellie has not made statements because there is no evidence. There's no proof. Also,
see, but with that, what did they put in front of the grand jury if there's no proof? See, again, this case is so confusing and it's so frustrating. You have to have something to take to the grand jury. What could it be?
I think that what they brought to the grand jury, it obviously didn't go anywhere. The fact that when I made Desiree blow up on a group before, she brought up DNA in a truck. But she wouldn't answer what kind. And if they had put proof in front of the grand jury, must have not convicted anyone enough to indict. So, there wasn't enough evidence. That's why it would never went anywhere, because there's not enough evidence. There's nothing. There is absolutely nothing to point this woman to the disappearance of Kyron.
They obviously need a lot more because they have put this in front of a grand jury. I just keep saying something's missing. Something is missing. And we're 12 years out. I get the parents' frustration. I get it. Because they're thinking this is 12 years. This is 12 years of not having their son, and it's just, there's just, the exact phrase from the grand jury was not enough compelling evidence. They just weren't 100% convinced to give an indictment. That's why I keep saying, what's missing here? Is it a whole nother person or something else? I don't know.
That's what I think is missing, and we're working on that. There's also the gash on the leg that everybody is talking about. That's not true. Um, they even saw that on video cameras. A lot of people don't know about that. There's so much people that things people don't know about. I would like to, I don't know if you have time, to read the exact timeline, the minutes, the miles in between, or I don't know if you want to wait. That will help people also understand what went on during that day. But yeah, they don't have what I could say to that. The other stuff, they don't have evidence. They have nothing. So it's time to start bringing awareness in a positive way and trying to look at different people. That's the thing that we're doing. Our group it's growing fast. We're the third biggest group of Kyron, Kyron's groups, and we speak facts. We find out this information. We just want the truth. We want Kyron to come home. And Desiree said she didn't believe that he was alive anymore. But then why this picture that just came out? Did you see this?
Well, the FBI puts these out. They do an age progression. I think Missing and Exploited Children put it out on behalf of the FBI. I don't believe she requested it by any means. I don't think she did, but that's common in a lot of cases. A lot of cases.
Yeah, because before that happened, we actually reached out to a place and we were going to have it done. Because we believe he's still out there. Kane believes he's still out there. We will never give up hope. We're just trying to we have a Kyron run coming up as well. We have a flyers thing. A lot of people are involved in. We're going to start putting flyers up all over the world, everybody in different states. We have a lot of stuff that we're trying to do to bring awareness. And it isn't about who did what, who did this, it's about everybody coming together. And I think that if Kane, Desiree, and Terry did not start fighting in the beginning and they just sat down, Dr. Phil, I don't like Dr. Phil, but he even said, you guys need to sit down with a pen and paper and write every single thing out and work together. So that's something that should have been done as well. These people, I know
And what a dumbass thing for Dr. Phil to say. You need to sit down with pen and paper and write everything down. Kane was at work. Desiree wasn't anywhere around. She didn't even live in the same town. Why would you want those three sitting together to make it worse? I know the man's got more degrees than a thermometer, but he can't be that basic. That's crazy that he would say that.
Well, I think that, people of a missing child, that they should definitely work together and not blame one another from no evidence, especially not having evidence. My thing is Kane, he was not perfect. He cheated on Desiree. Desiree was obviously mad about that.
Yeah, and all the inner workings of the adults. He was quickly with Terry. It's been said he was cheating on Desiree with Terry. That was the breakup. That was way before, Kyron went missing. And, I don't think that any of that could possibly have to do, I'm not a detective, with his disappearance on June 4th, 2010. And as far as these three working together, if law enforcement is telling Kane and Desiree that all arrows are pointing towards Terry, then they're not going to want to deal with her at all. They're probably not allowed to. if you want to know the truth. I have a feeling they're not allowed any communication with the woman at all.
Oh, yeah. Communication with Terry. You said communication with Terry.
Yeah, I mean, in most cases, I mean, if they are suspicious of her, I'm not saying she's a suspect. They are obviously suspicious of her because, well, I mean, they asked her to do a polygraph. They've questioned her. They brought in her friends, 12 years ago. They took what they had to the grand jury, which just wasn't. They called it not compelling enough. Okay, what I'm saying is they wouldn't want Kane and Desiree to have communication with her.
Yeah, that I mean that's true. But in the beginning, they should have, before they decided to accuse her of anything, they definitely should have let them keep, talking. They could have made a plan where hell, Kane stayed there and just seen what happened, or see how things would have worked out differently.
Well, now they were on press conferences and stuff like that together. I think when the whole murder for hire was brought to Kane, I believe that's when all of that abruptly stopped.
Yeah, that's when it did abruptly stop. But she called, like I said, she called the police. What kind of woman calls the police on a man that she made a deal with? I don't believe that she knew that he was wired. Nobody said he was wired. Um,
Yeah, well, he wouldn't tell her. And like I said again, can she read minds? Did she know what he was there for? And if he doesn't speak very good English, how was this deal made before? And I don't care if he's illegal or not. If he had said something, if this murder for hire thing had actually happened in December, the way it was reported, then he should have reported it in December. And then Kyron wouldn't have been missing in June. See, there's just so much going on in this story that's just wrong.
it is. It really is. And there. That landscaper for hire really makes me mad. I think that there was something in there. You know, Kane wanted Kiara. You know, if if Terry got her, um, he didn't want that because he didn't feel safe, obviously. But something come into play. Was he come into play? Was he paid? Was he paid to say these things to try to hurt her? Because he had no idea that Terry hired the landscaper. The only reason why Terry hired the landscaper was because Kane was making James do their huge yard all by himself. So
Well, good. I made my kids do our yards by themselves too. I mean, like I said, you got too many problems back and forth with these adults, and something got lost in translation. That's crazy.
I know, I agree, but that's why I believe it all connects somehow. Something we're missing. We're missing a lot of information. Well, we have some, but like I said, we'll go over that next time. Um, I'll have to make sure everything's written out where we got it from. And it's definitely basically a blame game. It's like who did it? Who really did it? But I really wish we could all just stop. I can't stop thinking and trying to defend Terry because that's the main focus right now for everybody else. And if I could get that focus off of Terry and just back to Kyron, we have flyers coming up. We're doing the flyer thing. That will bring out something positive. We just need to start thinking positive and start everybody in the world start posting of Kyron, put flyers everywhere. Start.
There are so many missing children in the world, and we cover them every single day on this channel. We have tragedy after tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. It never stops. It never stops. It never stops. And, the thing is, on this channel, the focus is the victim. I don't give two shits about Terry. I'm going to be honest. I don't. I want the right person in the bullseye for justice. I want the right person. Just like in the Summer Wells case, we've hit that hard for a year. Harmony Montgomery, Oakley Carlson, Cody Bixby. I can't even tell you all the cases we've been through. At the end of the day, none of these people are our friends. They're not our next door neighbors. We want the right person brought to justice. The right person. Real quick, Alicia, where's the tornado watch? Where's the tornado watch? And the next show we do about Kyron, I want to go to the very beginning. I'm going to break down all the news clips, and then I want to talk about the Dr. Phil interview. Are you in? Are you in?
Oh yeah, I'm in. I don't have a positive view about Dr. Phil, but I'm definitely there. I speak my mind. I'm just letting you know that, I don't, I'm very open about how I feel. Um, and yeah, we can go over Dr. Phil. I would really love for you to read this exact timeline though. Um,
Yeah, send them over to me because I would love to know the distance between Skyline Elementary, Fred Meyer. The only gap in her timeline I can see is like 10:40 to like 11:15. I don't see in that time she could get anything done. I just really, with Kyron, I just don't. There's a lot of stuff about this case that confuses me, and just like every other case, the only thing personal to me about this case is the child. That's what's personal to me. I certainly don't want to see anyone go to jail that doesn't belong there. I don't, because that's not justice served. You know what I mean? It's not justice served. So yeah, send that over because I would love to do a show about just the timeline. Dr. Phil I might do like a Dr. Phil comparing how he was with Candace and how he was with Terry. You guys think that would help? Just see how he treats certain people.
Yeah, I think it really would. You could see the difference. I just also want to point out that time that you're talking about, at when she was at the second Fred Meyer's, she saw a friend of hers from the gym, and Kyron was not with her. At 10:39, she made a phone call to her mom, and when you said that she was making Kira calm down from her ear infection, she was actually rocking her in the parking lot. Um, and then she went to the gym. The gym, she was there from 11:39 to 12:20. But also, Kira did not stay in the gym the whole time in the daycare because she started being cranky again. So she spent 20 minutes just talking to people in there, and then they went home. I just, want to throw that out there. So the timeline that's missing is her trying to rock Kiera, to calm her down. Ear infections aren't fun. We all know that. We have kids. I used to drive around with my kids when they had ear infections, just to.
No, I totally get that. I get that. And I used to, with colic and a lot of stuff. I mean, ear infection, my kids went to the doctor to get an antibiotic. My question is, why did she go to the gym if she had to drive her around for so long with the ear infection? Did she start feeling better? And then she thought, okay, false alarm. I always thought that was odd too.
Yeah, she did start feeling better. It was actually a prescription. The first Fred Meyer's didn't have it. So she decided to buy a Starbucks at 9:12. She also went to the second Fred Meyer's and they did have the medicine. So she gave her the medicine and it made her calm down. So she said,
do you know what the medicine was? Like, was she picking up an antibiotic, or is this like some sort of like a Tylenol or something to get rid of the pain? I never had heard this part.
it was a prescription antibiotic. A lot of people did not know that, and they said it was just like a Tylenol. But she was a very
hang on. Why did she wait to pick up an antibiotic? See, now I've got another question. When did she take her to the doctor? It would have to have been the day before because she was dropping Kyron off that morning.
Yeah, well, I've had days where I've taken my child and they've had an ear infection, and sometimes, places. And I guess that's what she did. She went to Fred Meyer's. That one didn't have it. She went to the second Fred Meyer's, and they had it. It might have not been the best decision, but parents don't make the best decisions somehow. I mean, sometimes, I mean, it's just it's just what we do. We're not perfect.
Now, her delaying picking up a prescription doesn't make her a kidnapper, and I don't want anyone to think that. I'm not saying her having a boyfriend makes her a kidnapper, or her sexting with Kane's friend Michael makes her a kidnapper, or driving around to soothe her daughter makes her a kidnapper. I'm not saying any of those things. It's just this is what happens in the court of public opinion. But then again, enough stuff that we don't know anything about. Because let me tell you what, that case file has got stuff that I don't care what you dig into, you don't know, because they would not have convened a grand jury unless there was something that really, really sprung their interest.
And it never stuck. So why do you think that it never actually anything happened from it?
I think it's exactly what was reported, that the evidence wasn't compelling enough for an indictment. So they're going to have to do more detective work and figure out what happened June 4th, 2010. Again, is she a criminal mastermind? Did she have help? Or do they have the entirely wrong person? That's why I love our chat and I love our community, because everyone's open-minded and we're not like, I've got my mind made up. That's why I say, I'm not an attorney. I don't work for Portland PD. They know way more than I could ever figure out. I just think there's got to be some huge part of the puzzle that's missing.
There is. Also, oh, I lost my train of thought. I was about to say something. Lord, my memory has been so bad lately. But shoot, I'll remember it eventually. But no, I mean it's not about going through all this stuff, but that's what it's come down to. It's come down to just groups just putting Terry down. And if she is guilty, I'm just saying if it would be more good for people to stop harassing. People are showing up to her house, taking pictures of her car. People are doing all types of stuff, and it's not doing any better. Let's find Kyron. Let's bring more awareness. Let's start. We're doing a Kyron run. We're doing all this stuff. Let's start doing positive stuff and stop trying to blame the other people and doing all this stuff. And it's kind of hard to stop because I'm like, okay, you guys are doing this to Terry. Let's see everybody else's bullshit, but
Anybody who's going to Terry's house is an idiot. They think they're really, after 12 years, going to harass her into a confession. That is the dumbest shit I've just about ever heard. And she knew how to call the police when the landscapers showed up. Call the police on them. She's a big girl. Call the police. Call the police. Same with the people that are harassing Kane. Same with the people that are harassing Desiree. Call the police. Call them up.
yeah, she has. She's called the police, and nothing happens. This woman, they call her work. They call her. She's tried to sue this one lady named Stacy, because she's called her work, got her fired. This girl is just going crazy with her. She's mentioned in the book. I don't know. Did you read the book, the boy missing?
I have read the book. I was actually going to talk about it. I was going to do like a book club in Discord and talk about it.
Oh, okay, awesome. I'm looking forward to joining that as well. Um, yeah, a lot of stuff in it is, it's one-sided. You have to hear from different sides. That's what I think every story should be. Every story should be looked at everybody's side, not one person. Um, so it's just like other cases you worked on. Um,
Well, in every high profile true crime case, there is always somebody that puts the narrative out, and from the media and social media now perspective, they are the spokesman per se. I mean, in Harmony Montgomery, it's her biological mother, Crystal. Not working out good for her, but it is. Oakley Carlson, it's her former foster family. The Wells, we had Dawn running the circus. Now Candace. In Kyron's case, it's his biological parents, and that's how it goes. You know, um, where the focus needs to be is on the day that the child disappeared. The day the child disappeared. There can't be anything left out of that day.
oh yeah, we're gonna have to go through that another day. Also, I remember what I was gonna bring out. That case, I don't know if it was the Duvar case where they blamed the stepdad for so long, and it turned out it was not him. Do you remember what I was talking about? Was it the uh
Oh, JC
JC?
Duval.
Yeah, wasn't the stepdad accused for like 18 years or something?
No, he was cleared early on, but since he was the last one to see her running to the school bus, then yeah, he was the main point of suspicion.
They found out it wasn't him. So it's possible for things like that to happen. But what I would like to see more now is to do my best of just bringing awareness. He needs to be found, and I it hurts my heart to think of what's going on with him. Is he okay? Or we've gotten so many tips making our group, so many tips, and we always turn them in. I don't know if you could let people know on your YouTube channel, the group, because we would love for them to join as well, just to learn more about the case. Um, it's a lot of information, and we'll get down to it more. Um,
Yes, we will, and I really appreciate you coming on today. I got to start shutting this down. We're about to get back on the road. Type in the chat. I'll put it in my group too. The name of your group. You're doing fabulous work, and one way or another, you're keeping the interest out in Kyron's case, and I just great advocacy for Kyron. One way or another, it is because you're keeping his name out there.
to do. We just need to make sure his name's kept out there. Um, oh, I can't even figure out how to write in chat. How do I do that? How do I write in chat?
Say the name of your group.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but where do I comment on?
You can just say the name.
Huh? Oh, yeah, it is, our group name is, hold on. Sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry, y'all. It's kind of a long name. We need to shorten it. But yeah, I really appreciate you having me on the show. I'm hoping next time, I can really get into stuff that I know personally. Um, and just speak the facts that nobody knows about. It's so much media. Hold on. Mm. Okay, it's called Kyron Horman Investigation, New, Old, and Ignored Tips. Did y'all get that?
Okay, awesome. And I'll put that in my group too, and I'll put a link to it. And I do very much appreciate you, your perspective, and what you think. We respect everyone's opinion and we look at different theories. So thank you very much for coming up. I'm going to let you say your goodbyes and I'm going to shut the show down.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you for letting me come on here. I really hope that everybody has, has an open mind and can just start thinking differently. Our group is very, we don't allow any rudeness. We don't let, things aren't wild in our group. So I would love for y'all to join, and I will definitely share your channel on my channel as well, so we can get people over there. And yeah, thank you for bringing me on, and I'm looking forward to next time so we could discuss a little more. Hello. It's going out.